Trump wins, celebrities flee. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Well, it's a week since Trump succeeded and was voted back into the White House as a consequence of winning the requisite number of electoral college votes and also the popular vote. As expected, there has been worldwide reaction to this news, ranging from delight through to dismay. Last week, I provided you with the reactions of certain people to this news to demonstrate what behaviour you were watching, namely a narcissistic behaviour, but how that behaviour could come from narcissists, from narcissistic people, and potentially also from empathic and normal people also. The first video showed a number of individuals having a meltdown at the news, their meltdown such that they needed to share it on social media, mainly through TikTok. The second set related to women suggesting that they were going to implement a no-sex arrangement as a consequence of Trump winning. Again, they felt it necessary to broadcast the fact that they were engaging in that over social media. And now we turn to a third group of individuals who had either expressed an intention in the likelihood of a Trump victory or confirmed what they were going to do as a consequence of Trump winning. It's become somewhat trite that whenever there is an election in the United States, reference is made to the number of searches for moving to Canada, for example. And this is done on either side. So if a Democrat president comes in, Republicans go rushing to Google to search about moving to Canada and vice versa. Well, here we haven't got the ordinary Joes and Janes of the United States suggesting that they will flee, but the rarefied atmosphere of celebrities. As I've explained to you previously, the realm of the celebrity is one that attracts many narcissists because becoming a celebrity appeals to the narcissist because it gives them a wide marketplace, if you will, of people that can be controlled through the fame that they obtain as being a celebrity. It means that the exposure that they enjoy as a celebrity results in them getting oodles of fuel as a consequence of being interviewed, spoken about, cheered, jeered, lots of reactions to it. There's the opportunity to have new and varied experiences, thus meeting lots of different people and from that obtaining various character traits and, of course, the residual benefits, facade management for the mid-rangers and the graders, money across all of the sub-schools, access to networks and information. Accordingly, celebrity very much attracts narcissists because it appeals to reaping the prime aims with a greater level of intensity than other areas. Furthermore, narcissistic traits become rather useful with regard to being a celebrity. Vanity assists, showmanship assists, the lack of conscience with regard to treading on people to clamber up the greasy pole to achieve celebrity stardom, the thirst for fuel causing the individual perhaps to engage in more and more outrageous activities so they become known, the ease by which relationships can be forged and then dropped is also something that is advantageous, which stems, or rather is something that is particularly found with narcissists. And thus, the narcissist is geared up to not only survive but thrive in the celebrity environment. And of course, with many of these hot spots, these hunting grounds for narcissists, you'll also find that it often helps to be a narcissist to get through it all because there are so many narcissists there. Thus, Trump wins the election and some rattles get thrown out of prams. Balls are taken home. But who is it who's claiming that they're going to leave the United States? And also, let's keep an eye on what they're up to see if they follow through on their threat. First up, there is Cher. The goddess of pop confessed, as per The Spectator, to The Guardian last year that her upset at Trump's first presidency was such that she had suffered health issues as a result. Poor Cher. Dear, dear. Insisting she almost got an ulcer the last time. First world problems, huh? Golly gosh. Lamenting the possibility of a Republican win in this year's poll, the singer stated, "If he gets in, who knows? This time I will leave." However, back in 2015, Cher expressed similar sentiments, announcing that if Trump were to be elected, "I'm moving to Jupiter." Well, our chums in the Jovian planet don't appear to have been regaled with "if I could turn back time" or believe, so she didn't go. Almost a decade later, and the American actress still resides in California. It would appear that she's one of those individuals who's all talk and no action, but maybe she'll prove me wrong, and we will see if this time she holds good with her threat to leave. Next we have Amy Schumer. The first time Trump ran to be president, Schumer was adamant in an interview with the BBC that if the Republican choice won, "My act will change because I will need to learn Spanish, because I will move to Spain or somewhere." Yet, curiously, Schumer did not in fact permanently move away from the States during Trump's first presidency. The American comedian has not yet broken her silence on the Donald's second victory, but I can't wait to hear about which European country she'll threaten to relocate to now. The Trump-Schumer dislike certainly appears to be mutual. The then-president himself hit out at the comedian's US Senator cousin in 2017 after he gave an emotional speech about the US travel ban on certain Muslim-majority countries, with Trump dubbing him Fake Tears Chuck. It seems rather fitting, therefore, doesn't it, that he's related to Fake Threats Amy. Whoopi Goldberg. The US TV personality has quite the history of suggesting she would leave Trump's America. Back in 2016, Goldberg said about the prospect of a Republican victory, "Maybe it's time for me to move, you know. I can afford to go." Yet she stayed put. Will she finally make the move now? Perhaps some more goading from Trump might do the trick. Earlier this year, he shared a meme suggesting the TV star might relocate to Canada if he won. "Canada doesn't want you, Whoopi," he sneered. "Nobody does." Ooh. A bit of belittlement there from the Donald. American Ferrera. Presumably she would have to change her name if she went outside of the American continent. But after it became clear the Republican candidate had won the race for the White House, an insider told the Mirror that the Ugly Betty star is said to be sick that Donald Trump is president again. We wish her a swift recovery. She is devastated that Kamala lost, the source said, adding she thought the country she lived in was better than that. Ferrera is said to be looking to relocate to the UK as a result. Will she up and move? Well, let's watch this space. Tommy Lee, the Motley Crue drummer, has previously flirted with the idea of jetting off elsewhere in the event of a Trump win. In 2020, he told The Big Issue, "Dude, I swear to God, if Trump wins, then I'm coming over to visit the UK. I'm out of here. I'll go back to my motherland, go back to Greece and get a house on one of the islands." Lee stuck around throughout the Biden presidency, but will he honour his pledge to move away now Trump is returning to the White House? Well, again, we'll have to wait and see. Bruce Springsteen. About the prospect of the Donald being re-elected, Springsteen didn't hold back in 2020, telling Australia's Daily Telegraph that he would move down under from New Jersey if the Republican candidate saw success. If Trump is re-elected, if by some happenstance he should be, I'll see you on the next plane, Springsteen promised. So, our Antipodean cousins, can you expect to welcome the boss anytime soon? Then we have Minnie Driver. The American-British actress lived in Los Angeles for almost 30 years before decided on making the transatlantic trip to settle in London. While Driver has hinted she could move back stateside at some point, she was adamant in a Times interview this year, "If I lived in a red state, no, I couldn't." Will she stick to her word? Or, like with her celebrity colleagues, is it just another empty promise? Various threats to depart as a consequence of the Donald winning, and as yet, none of them have moved. Now, just because they've issued such a threat, that doesn't mean that they are a narcissist, but the use of threat by a narcissist is typical. It's done as a reaction to a threat to their own control. So, for instance, if you won't do something the narcissist wants, the narcissist may well threaten you by saying, "You'd better do that, or else this'll happen." I've explained elsewhere in detail the narcissist and the use of threats. It's well worth watching that video because it's a comprehensive examination of how narcissists use threats, and also it assists you with understanding just how far the narcissist may well go to actually deliver on that threat, and you'll actually be surprised at some of the outcomes. It's typical of a narcissist to use a threat because it's easy to do. The power is in the threat, not the execution of it. A threat can be spoken, so therefore it's quick to manifest, easy to use, and can be powerful with regard to the nullification of the threat to control and the garnering of fuel. Many people contact me in consultations scared about what the narcissist is going to do because a threat has been issued, and I'm able to provide them with guidance based on the type of narcissist that they're dealing with as to whether the threat will be acted on and the steps that they can take to protect themselves. Threats are, of course, used by lots of different people, but often used by narcissists, and they're often empty threats. Why? Because the use of the threat in the moment gets the narcissist what they need, so they don't need to follow up on it. Similarly, there are certain narcissists amongst the individuals that I've mentioned to you in this video. As celebrities, as a knee-jerk reaction to their threat to control with Donald coming into office, threaten that they will also leave, thus seeking to nullify the threat to control in that moment and draw fuel by people reacting with, "Oh no, please don't go, stay, we need you." Let's see if people make good on these threats, and you can also work out who you believe are the narcissists that are using threat here in relation to a knee-jerk response of throwing the rattle out of the pram because Donald Trump has won the election. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.